I forgot to say that when Barnaby was listening to Coh'Jak and Wallace talk about these really big metaphors about having died and come back, Barnaby's a little bit dense, and when you were talking about climbing a mountain, he low-key thought it was like Wallace climbing him, and he's like, weird to have a relationship talk, and mostly dismissed it. So if he references that conversation, he thinks you are talking about liking him. Okay.
This
Thank
is
you.
great. This is exactly what I wanted.
This is amazing. Excuse me while I climb a mountain.
I wonder what you thought when Coh'Jak was saying it's traditional to climb a mountain.
And on that note, hey, welcome, my friends. We are Dice Friends. We are playing the Dragon game in a very special, spooky session for the season because it's October and it's Halloween. And we're playing this from the past and the future. I just want to clarify that for everyone. This is Alabaster Kingdom. I am your dungeon comrade, What is Kiss? Below me, we have Laron Reedus as Wallace, our draconic fighter. We have Courtney Sparkly Kiss as Barnaby, our Leonin berserker. We have Chantel B as Lailai, our grassland druid. And we have Northern Ali, Werewolf Fields, as Coh'Jak, our celestial warlock. And I want to start hot and ready, like a Little Caesar's pizza, with the session starting from the cloudless, empty blue sky that Coh'Jak saw when they spotted the vehicle originally outside the facility. And we're going to pan on down to that vehicle after all of our players hopped in after leaving the facility. This is a flashback. And right now across the screen, it's just going to be in all black and white text, just say flashback. And it's going to cut inside the vehicle. And I assume we have D, the driver, who is up front driving the vehicle. I think Enrico, one of the kidnapped folks that was saved by Barnaby, would be in the back of this vehicle with the fuller view. And there is a reinforced divider that separates you all in the back from the driver in the front. There is a swatch, however, that remains open to allow you all to kind of talk freely. We established already that you would all like to take this as a long rest and kind of, chill out after the very intense couple of hours y'all had from going for very cold mountainside to very hot, very dry, very arid desert. And I just wanted to check in with you all and see, how are your characters coping? What are they thinking about? What are they talking about? What's going on? Who would like to go first?
As we previously stated, Coh'Jak was spending most of the time in the truck pretending to be asleep because they don't really sleep anymore. So instead, they close their eyes and to the rest of the world are practically dead because they are actually dead. And even though their eyes close and their breathing almost stills, to the inside of their brain, neurons are still firing as thoughts and dreams and trance-like memories come to the forefront. Their mind is preoccupied with charging in a living, breathing half-elf into battle alongside Lailai, alongside alongside Jordan and Sairwa and Rie, and watching their friends fall later, feeling themselves fall. It's been a while since this memory needed to be accessed. But in that time, he has spent week after week lying to Lailai, lying about who he really is, trying not to make eye contact, and in a way repressing his own pain. Now there's nothing stopping that dam from being overflooded. Nothing at all.
Huh. What about Barnaby?
Barnaby's kind of laying back, taking up a little bit more space than he realizes, making it a little bit uncomfortable for others in the truck, and is reflecting, kind of like how when you try to go to bed and your actual cat or dog does this, and he's reflecting on the interactions he's had with everyone else. They've been a party for a while, and he still doesn't feel like he knows anyone. He has really conflicted sort of feelings going on right now, because he's reflecting on like how Wallace approached him, made a comment like betrothed, because for him their relationship was a lot more casual, and he's dealing with conflicting feelings because before he regained memories of the name Amada, Barnaby is the type to not know how to express how he truly feels. And now that he has memories that he does have feelings about things, he's trying to figure out what everything has meant during this journey with the people he's met. He would like to express that, but doesn't know how, and is being kind of grumpy and angsty. And if Wallace looks at him, he just closes his eyes and pretends to be asleep because he is not ready to talk.
Wait,
Just pretend you're asleep. You won't get in trouble. Pretend you're asleep.
Yep.
No.
so Coh'Jak is sitting there, practically dead body, pretending to be asleep. Barnaby's sitting right there, very living, but also pretending to be asleep.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes he'll like look and nod, but he doesn't want Wallace to catch him staring, so he just pretends that he's, looking the other way, closing his eyes, and then looking back and going, "Oh God." But he definitely is not sure what the vibes are, because Barnaby has no idea how to detect vibes unless people are being all like, "I'm your biggest fan." So right now, he is confused as hell. We are both pretending to be asleep, and we were all angsty.
If that's the case, then how does Barnaby have his hands whenever he's asleep?
He's definitely the type to sleep with his hands behind his head like this, and is like looking, but then, oh my God, I'm not looking, I'm just adjusting. Rolls over, puts hands under face, looks, goes, oh God, closes them again.
Okay.
Obviously really bad at faking to be being asleep.
Laurent, Chantal, I'm begging you, one of you's got to talk.
Yeah. Not in the mood to talk right now.
I'm dead to the world,
Well, I'd imagine that there are moments within Wallace's silence that he does have his eyes stray over to Barnaby. And as you said, there are moments to avoid eye contact. Barnaby pretends that he's asleep. I feel like I should roll, but I don't feel like I need to roll because both my intelligence and my wisdoms are -1s. So, for all Wallace knows, he could be asleep. But there are moments in which he catches Barnaby quote unquote sleep, and just gives him a once over. If there's a moment in which his hands are loose, when they're not behind his head or under his cheek, and they're just like possibly resting on his lap or on the seat itself, Wallace is tempted to inch a finger and hold his hand, but he keeps himself from doing so, and he just stares out the window as Dee is driving.
And for Lailai?
Lailai, for the most part, has been staring at Coh'Jak. They know that Coh'Jak isn't asleep because they know that Coh'Jak is dead, and the dead do not sleep. So that isn't why they're staring. They're staring because they're staring. They don't even necessarily know that they're staring. And at times they will look out of the window and be like, don't really want to see what's out of the window, and then just go back to staring at Coh'Jak. All of the things that have happened, now they're kind of in a place where they just maybe wish that the curse hadn't been broken because it was kind of easier.
As you all kind of pontificate and each of your own individual woes and tides of ennui, Andrico is awestruck at the four of you. And there is this silent conversation that's been going on for like the first like half hour of the trip between Andrico and Dee, where completely sleep deprived, near starved, bags under their eyes. This looks like at one point Andrico probably had like a good 60 or 70 pounds on them at some point that they just lost. But they have all the spark and their eyes just taking all of you in. They, however, as you know, opposed to Wallace, have enough insight to kind of get that dropping a lot on you all right now may not be the best time, but they also seem conflicted as in when would be a good time. So they kind of go between one part fanboying, one part sort of how do I break the ice? How do I like interject?
Is he doing the thing where he's smiling a bunch, but he's trying not to show that he's smiling?
Oh, there is no poker face at all. It's just kind of, but them compared to all of you, just kind of, I would assume kind of minuscule. And
Oh, are they doing the thing where they're smiling and they open their mouth like they're going to talk, but then they realize, oh no, that's
that's it. It's like, weather's pretty nice, they say all of a sudden, just in the silence of this fan. I guess I should go into more details about what I intend to get you all into, if now would be a good time. And he just kind of looks around to see if
Wallace.
there's any reaction.
And then
Wallace
Barnaby
glance.
leans in. It's just me and Wallace.
Wallace glances at the half-orc notices Barnaby's sudden intrigue and then just gives a nod and stares out the window.
And that is more of an audience they could have ever have hoped for between just you two. Still leaving room for Lailai and Coh'Jak to kind of join in, but they just lick their lips and they just start going into who Hosada is and the kind of conditions that they are in and why they were trapped and why they were chained and locked inside of that facility, and the relation to D. And they just start sort of painting a picture for you all of a large landmass that has been slowly sort of eroding from the inside out. And there are 13 capital points on this landmass that have been separated and called into states. And you are all in one of those named right outside of one of them called Charlotte. That's where the facility was located, where you all emerged from. Kyle Ethan Ivan was a figure who was looking to gain governorship over that area. And they kind of stop midway of talking. They kind of look around just to see if any of this is making sense or connecting with either of you all.
And Dorico, you said
Yeah.
this land's been like this for as long as you can remember?
I mean, pretty much. I mean, they have like the founding whites who cultivated it themselves, and then after that, all the other beings that kind of grew up here just kind of live and exist. But for the most part, it's just mostly white territory. But it's changing now. Well, it's supposed to be. Well, now we have so much more, and they just kind of think back and reconsider the reality that is now in place. Kyle Ethan Ivan was supposed to get another bid at governorship, uncontested, in 2 days. But now he's not. But there's been a huge push against the Brighter Future Party, and just kind of
who's been making that push?
Just other folks around, other beings. We've been able to kind of get enough representation on some of the changes as the city starts to kind of condense as it kind of gestures out towards the wasteland. There's really not that much out there until you find sort of oasis like that, as you just see kind of like the grain barely sort of like tent the horizon as you approach the city. But I think this is gonna change a lot as you hear a intentionally intrusive sort of like cough and clear of the throat from up front. Kind of like that. As D, while driving, slows down a bit just to kind of turn and look out the back and says, well, what do you mean by that? As she says, directed to Andrico, who kind of looks back and says, well, we got to go back and get Hosada. And D looks back at Andrico and says, and how do you expect to do that? Andrico kind of turns to you all. Listen, Hosada can help you, but I need to help Hosada first. Looks around at the four of you.
What do you need?
It explains that Hosada's been kind of captured in the facility, as we talked about before. Hasada has been one of the main people leading that push against the Brighter Future Party. The Brighter Future Party intended to kind of have wights themselves, these near internal re-dead undead beings, continue to hold their grip as far as sort of the changes that affect most of the land and what's happening, and how they intend to pursue other means to pretty much gain and harvest mana, magic, or weave. Hasada, however, kind of gathered an alliance of different folks to start speaking up and to start trying to allow themselves into these spaces to kind of speak up on behalf of those who are not undead, who do need things like natural resources, grass, water, fresh air, sleep.
How long has the land been like this? How far back does the history go?
And Draco just kind of looks out and says, "Well," and kind of looks over at D, and D says, "Well," Hasada cuts in and says, "It's not like this everywhere. Like across, like through the border, it's not like this at all." You hear a huge sigh from up front, and it's more than just mushrooms. There's huge waterfalls and free flowing rivers. There's an entire full society over there. And Draco's
Have you
eyes
seen it?
go back from D over to you all to Lailai. I haven't, but Husada, he's been across so many times. And he looks over to Coh'Jak. Like, you would love it there. I mean, if it's not already better than where you're all from.
Has your friend taken many with him to this better place? Or is he the
Yes.
only one?
It's so many. Right, D? Like, this can be your way out, too. And D kind of stops the car for just a bit. Says, "I need a moment." Vehicle stops. She gets out. "Listen, this is going to work out for all of us. You help me get Hasada out. Hasada helps you all get back to where you need to go. And the Hasada gets D to the border, to a safer place. This is big. This has to mean something."
I think without a word, Coh'Jak jumps out of the car and goes towards D.
Okay.
While Coh'Jak does that, Barnaby's going to lean in and be like, "So, I know what Hasada means to you, Andrico, but what exactly do you mean to Hasada?"
Barnaby saying that out loud will cause Wallace's ears to perk up, and he's going to look in the direction of Enrico and Barnaby.
Well, your friend was asking about the history of this place, and you all wanted to know more about what happened years before. Hisada has been gathering that. Has been going back across the border, getting materials, getting these records, just proof from folks who actually remembered, some who are actually there. Like, this changes everything about what's going up here on the surface. Like beams all over. They need to know this. They need to see this. he keeps referring to beings as any sort of sentient, intelligent form that is not undead. That being the colloquial term for anything that's not a white, zombie, gas, ghoul, vampire, so on.
It's
I'm
just the
gonna.
way you talk about it, having never been, seems a little like I've had fans like you before.
Like, dedicated?
Why hasn't Hasada taken you over yet? Why were you captured?
Why, to be honest, I didn't believe him at first either, and then it took me a while, and then it's just sort of, you just start to make the connections, you just start to see it, and it just makes so much more sense. And of course, you think like you go down deep enough, that's just, more places where, the whites aim to be, but eventually, there's a whole nother world, there's a whole nother life for us over there.
Why go through the effort of doing that when we can just take out all the undead? How hard could it be? They're just a bunch of... I mean, we took out, you said, their leader? Kyle, Ethan, whatever? That was pretty easy.
As Barnaby says, this look on Enrico's face kind of takes like a pause as they then go into kind of explain to Barnaby of like the whites themselves overpopulate the beings 7-3 here. That's not accounting for other loose like zombies and the wastelands, gas and ghouls and other forms that were transformed, not in the way as intended by this necrometamorphosis that turns things into whites. And if the conversation or topic of like animals or livestock come into question, there is almost very little, if any, fauna out there.
How did you survive so long?
What do you mean?
Well, if there's nothing to eat, there's no food. How did you survive without them before?
I mean, we have food. We just need to,
In this?
Yeah. From up front, you hear some rattling from D, and then you see 2 little capsules tossed in the back. They are about the size of like a Carmex 10, a little like lip balm. And Enrico just kind of casually just thanks D and takes one and opens it up and pops it open. And it is a container of about a gallon of water with the spigot on it, and kind of takes and just punctures it and just takes a huge gulp out of it and hands it over. Coh'Jak, as you see these 2 things, you see that there are, to you, and how your magic eyes break them down, condensed items that have been imbued with create water and create food and water. There are other smaller ones that have a similar effect as Goodberry. And Draco starts opening these up and just handing out food and just like starts rationing this out to everybody. We usually get this, and these are made mostly from any other collaborations that whites put together. Most of them have the entire market of it, but there's a couple of farmers out in the wastelands that have their own sort of things going. Some people can get things growing out there for the most part, but most of this is just mostly crust now.
Lailai's going to get out of the vehicle.
I'm gonna step out, see where Coh'Jak is. With D. So Coh'Jak, what's going on?
You all right?
I'm fine. I just need a moment. Oh, you see D just leaned up against the vehicle. They don't seem to be in any pain or necessarily fatigued, but just taking very like deep, calm, repetitive breaths.
Can I do a check on them?
All right, what kind of check?
I would like to insight check to see if they're... Dee's a very closed off person, and while I do respect that, I am both curious and a bit afraid.
Most strangers are.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me that insight check, my friend.
I'd love to. It's an 8.
Okay. D is very distant, but D is also a cop. And you definitely get a cop vibe from D. They don't seem to mind your presence next to them, but they don't necessarily seem too eager to engage in conversation with you.
I take a beat. I take a breath, so to speak. This mystical wonderland your friend keeps talking about. Set you off?
She kind of looks at you and tilts her head. What are you?
What do you think I am?
The ears make me think. And I think there's just like, in my head, how it just played out that Twilight moment of like, what are you? Say it. She goes, an elf.
I hate it. I
love it.
hate it.
So we're in the fun, Laurent. This is amazing.
And she kind of tilts her head back and says, but you're also like one of them. She looks up in the sky, still bright, and looks down at you. How you holding up?
What do you mean? I'm fine.
Enrico thinks that getting me and others like me over to the border would be better for us all. I think that he's going to be leading a lot of people into a very dangerous situation. I also think that he is a very, very lucky being. I also don't trust any of you.
I don't trust you either. But I have to say that we have no reason to be antagonistic towards each other. I know you're not. I'm just saying. Because we have a very long road to go. A short time to take it in. And frankly, you and I think we both need each other in a way.
What happened in there with Khalid and Ivan?
Well, I skewered him with a harpoon shot from a longbow, and my friend beheaded him.
He's dead.
Ash dead.
She exhales one more time and then heads over into the front seat of the car and hops back in. While this was happening, back inside the car, Enrico was continuing to tell the rest of you more about everything within the space of Charlotte and how they've been trying to get like more people organized and going about things. But every time that they try to get something together, they try to do something, it's usually the states parties that kind of wrangle them back in and take most of them captive. For Enrico's case, that's what happened right before this huge rally and demonstration, specifically against Kyle Ethan Ivan, creator of the Scrystone, and the entire campaign party for his governing ship. Enrico also looks down and says that's how Husada knew about his entire plan with what he was doing in there. I mean, you all saw it, right? Oh, D. Steve gets back in, closes the car door. Does Coh'Jak fall? Or Lailai, actually. Get out too.
Mm-hmm.
And what did Lailai do?
Lailai wants to know... Lailai basically wants to ask the ground here questions, but if it's not alive or not real, then they obviously can't do that. So I guess the first thing is this real? Because they know that somewhere else it was not.
Give me a nature check.
That's a 3.
Can I help in any way on that side?
You are not currently there with Lailai at this moment, unfortunately. Lailai, crust best explains it.
Crust. Tasty. Pizza.
It's stuffed at least.
Pizza. No, this is just uncomfortable.
As Lailai's still checking the ground, D walks past Lailai to get in the front. Yeah. Oh, hey, D. From inside the vehicle as Coh'Jak comes around towards Lailai. Is there interaction between you two?
For a split second, I let my eyes linger on Lailai's. And I think in that second you see a sight you recognize. Someone completely, utterly defeated. And if Lailai says nothing, it's gone just as fast as it came. Back into the car they go.
I would like to take the opportunity during the time that Coh'Jak and Lailai stepped out of the vehicle to address Enrico. Do you mind giving my friend and I a moment?
Yeah, of course. And he just kind of turns around and just kind of scoots. Like, I picture Enrico sitting between you and Barnaby, and Barnaby is just like Mufasa spreading in there. Just taking the entire lion's share of like the seat.
Accurate.
And Wallace is like on the side of the vehicle, like towards the driver, and Enrico's just kind of right here, kind of like popping through there. So trying to get out, it's just kind of like getting up, but like Barnaby's hilt on the axe, which is like across his lap, but also across Enrico's lap. So Barnaby needs to lift it up and kind of move it out, and then it just kind of bumps into Wallace until like Wallace's horn, but kind of touches it, just kind of like like right around us, like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Just kind of scoots around, excuse me. Just kind of walks over Barnaby's tail and just kind of like, oh, hey, how's it going, Coh'Jak? They need a moment. Do you mind if it starts to go back out? D just opens the door and closes it and gets back out. You all have the vehicle to yourself.
This is the weirdest thing.
That's why it took 3 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you say we just take this car and go?
What was she like?
You know, been thinking about that this entire time. But don't think I'm ready to talk about that. Wouldn't it be fun? We need a good laugh. What if we just took this truck? Just hopped in the front real quick.
Barnaby Demolio. What was she like?
Honestly, Wallace, she was incredible. It sounds ridiculous to say, but
No, it doesn't. Just say it.
and then Barnaby just kind of, this is the first time you see him really slump, because he's before had this very strong, somewhat forced posture, and leaned into being this cool, affable guy, and is struggling. So he relaxes a lot more and leans into his own lap and says, she was gentle, incredibly strong. She'd always bested me every time we would have a contest, but would do everything to make it seem like we were equals, but she was better than I'll ever be. She was gone too soon, and it was all my fault. I did that to her, you know? And then he leans back. You don't know. I've never told you. I'm just now remembering, so you'll have to forgive me. This doesn't come very easy.
I'm not expecting it to come easy, Bonnie. I know. I knew there was something. Whether it was affected by the death chattel or something you were specifically keeping from me, and I just assumed the former. And I'm not trying to replace her. I promise you I'm not.
Yeah, aside from her, you are also the only person who has been able to tell me no, to tell me to slow down, to tell me to take a break. And for that, I do deeply appreciate you, Wallace. Apologies for not opening up about this sooner. I didn't even know what to open up about. But she's all I ever knew, and it doesn't help that some sort of entity changed her before me, and in my worry, I hurt someone. And it doesn't help knowing that I've spent years in those fighting pits, and I've taken countless lives, and it hurts knowing that hers was the first. And I'm hoping maybe we could establish some sort of deeper friendship, or whatever this is, where I can be more honest. But for now, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, Wallace.
I want to cut in right here on this scene because of a comment that was made from last session. and we can use it or we can drop it. I'm going to offer this up to Yuleron.
All right.
We skipped over this entire part of the journey last session. You said Wallace made the choice to not say a single word to Barney. Through this entire conversation, is this happening in Wallace's head? Of things that he wants to say and a conversation he wants to hear, but can't muster to say it?
Yes.
I need you and Courtney to both take a point of inspiration as we cut back to a cell door opens. Inside of the containment facility, the partied intel gathering service facility, a Leonin named Barnaby thought wise to agitate the people that have taken them captive. Seeing them as fair game, the door opens. 3 guards on the floor, 3 more up ahead, with 2 coming down on the side with 1 at the top. They gave the okay. The 3 on the floor start approaching as the door becomes unlocked, and you all see the mechanism release. There's no swing and like very like wide open of the cell gate, but you do see that it has become free. However, as the 3 guards approach, you hear one of the other folks inside in the back point over at Wallace and go, "Hey, he has an axe!" As they point to a handle that's just barely pointing out of Wallace's back coat. As another one says, "Yeah," not as loud, mind you. "Yeah, they have no inhibitors either." "Hey, you got no inhibitor?" As that murmuring starts to grow in the back. As one of the guards gets closer and says, "Are they supposed to have inhibitors?" As they turn and look in the back at the other guards, whose face of kind of like, "Ooh, fun play," turns into, "Ooh, hold up, wait." As they all stop and look at the 3 of you. The one in the far back, and I think, Coh'Jak, you can sense this too. They have a similar way of sizing you all up. You see that their eyes are not simply looking at you and just seeing the visual you, but they are actually breaking you all down, completely analyzing all of you as a look that can only be described as horror kind of shows on their face as they say, "Close the gates." Just, you see it leave their lips before the eruption of those words erupt out for everyone as all the guards turn and look.
How many of them are within 10 feet of Barnaby in any direction?
I'd say right now one of them would be as they're kind of dashing towards you, but there is a gate in between you all. They are simply trying to push that gate back closed.
Wallace stands up.
As this is all happening, you got some other folks who have been taken in as inmates also in this place with you all. Everything that's given in this space of like how they're moving, how quickly they can get to you, and what they would be doing, I need to know from you all. What would you like to do, if any, at the action of as a reaction to close the gates?
Wallace would like to stand up, approach the gate, and try to hold it in place, just ajar.
Okay.
Not try, like, as soon as they get it within an inch close, just catch it.
Then what I need from Wallace and from anyone else that would like to try is an initiative roll, not to start a combat, just to see reaction. Who gets to that gate to get to the gate first? So give me your initiative rolls and say your numbers out loud for me.
That's a 10.
Oh,
I will not reach for the gate, but
okay.
I have plans.
Sneaky, sneaky.
14.
14. And let me roll.
I was
on
hoping to
this
slip
one.
through the gate, if I'm being honest.
I mean, Barnaby, with those thick thighs.
Okay. And that is the 16 for the first guard. The first guard gets to the gate first and closes it.
Damn.
You all have inspiration.
Waiting for. Would you like to use your point of inspiration?
He hasn't, like, it's not like locked, right? It's just like he's closed it, hasn't locked yet.
They got it. They pushed it closed.
Damn.
Waiting for it to lock again.
Oh, you know what? Actually, can I roar? I'm going to do my daunting roar.
All right. Read it to me.
Cool. As a bonus action, creatures of your choice within 10 feet that hear you must succeed on a wisdom save or be frightened of me. So they're going to run away.
All right. Wisdom save. What's the...
It's a wisdom saving throw 13.
And that's a 5. So they do not get to that door.
Yeah.
But Wallace does.
Question: Do I hear that daunting roar?
Give me a... What's your passive perception, actually?
15.
Cool. All right. Lailai, while this is happening, you just got the files on Diasmin Caravan, who is just on transport duty. When you're in the same room, you hear the door behind you open. As 3 other uniformed personnel walk in. 2 with the same type of visors, 1 with no visors, and a differently detailed type of uniform. They are wearing this universe's version of sunglasses, types of aviators, with a small parasol right over their head. They have a big jacket with many medals on it. And they also, despite the very arid temperature, seem to be wearing a fur around their neck. They come in with these other 2 figures as they're just sort of talking. They stop for a moment just to kind of look up and just sort of to clock you that you're also in the same room. They do nothing. They make no gesture just to announce themselves or to greet you, but just to continue talking amongst themselves. And you do hear that sort of roar, as well as a light rumble being so close to the containment facility. The 3 in a room turn and look out. 2 get up and start heading out. As one with the additional accoutrement upon themselves and on their lapel slowly get up and meander over, and they take off their hand, revealing 2 well manicured, with fleshy yet dead hands. As they come by right next to the table to you, they brush and knock over a few files. They go on the floor and they just casually, "Get that, will you?" So they head out and just whip their finger around as the door closes behind them.
I was about to call the others back and then went, no, I can't. No.
You do know that is Barney's roar.
Yes. Barney's loud. That's Barney's roar. The files on the floor now. Williams picked those up.
Those are probably just something set aside and completely irrelevant to anything you're looking at.
Lailai will help William pick them up.
Back at the bottom, we got a roar. We got a door. Let's hear some more.
The god.
Well, I'm leaving. That's it.
That's what it says in the book. It's what it says in the book. You can't blame me. It's what it says in the book.
You're
Don't get-
responsible for your own actions.
So, the
This is the
god.
best day.
Is this a white?
None of the guards have any of the descriptors. They don't have the glowing eyes or any sign of necrosis to tell that they are white.
So, okay. Do they present as the one that was trying to close the gate? Do they present masculine or feminine?
More masculine, you'd say.
All right. I would like, in my attempt to grab the door, also, or at least grab the cell door, if it's barred like I imagine, try to grab the same bar that he's holding so that I'm grasping his hand and keeping it trapped.
Romance.
Give me a strength check.
That's a dirty 20.
Ooh. Yeah, they're not getting away. They are even more terrified.
I look him dead in the eye. You ever died, son?
That's the only reaction you're getting.
I'll take that as a no. So, you want to know what happens when you're stabbed in the back? You don't scream. You think you'd scream, but you don't. It's more like having the wind knocked out of you. You gasp. But the thing is, that's only when you're just stabbed.
He's got Johnny!
The blade keeps going in, and it pierces more things. And the blood starts gathering near the chest before you see a little bit of steel poke out from your chest. I know what that feels like. I can deliver it to you.
Would either of you would like to make an intimidation check at advantage? The three of you.
The three of us. You know what? Why not?
Mine is +4.
Mine is +2. Okay, you go ahead.
+5.
Fine, the bull and the lion can figure it out. Which will just stay in the wardrobe.
Can Barnaby assist me?
Absolutely.
Whoever rolls it, it's going to be at advantage either way.
Oh, okay.
Who would like
Not
to
that
roll?
one.
How does Barnaby assist?
My bad. I rolled it out of habit.
Oh, yeah, I was going to roll. Yeah, but how does Barnaby
First
assist?
off, I feel like Barnaby would have laughed. Definitely, he would have laughed really hard when you said, "Do you know what it's? Have you ever died, son?" Thinking that was a clever joke because he's really dense and isn't really picking up what you're putting down. And then is definitely your hype man in the back and be like, "Because you can learn today, friend. You can learn today what it's like to die." And that's your assistance.
Thanks, babe. All right. So that's 14 and we're going to keep that 14.
All right. And the assist with Barney for that 16 also does help.
Oh, yeah.
And here's what happens. From the look of the guard at the very high top that Coh'Jak saw, their face easily conveyed to Coh'Jak that if this is what they think it is, someone just threw the Avengers into just New York City jail, the one with like a window in the back that goes out in the alley.
Yes.
not knowing what they were, and they just did an entire power scouter and just realized, like, oh shoot. um, Pretty much to say they're all going just to make the dash options to try to escape. They're not going to try to engage.
And if our dear God friend is going to try, Wallace is going to strategically let go of his hand to watch him trip over his own 2 feet.
Oh, they do that too. If you let them go, they will just retreat. And at this point, you all have an open cell with around a dozen other folks inside who are now watching this as well with that same type of look that Andrico gave the 3 of you all inside, like, the vehicle of, like, who are you all? Is this really happening? What are we going to do now? And just kind of looking to you all to sort of what can happen next.
Wallace looks back at them and looks at his party members, undoes the top button of his button-up, and go, we should probably find Lailai.
And with that, we go back up to the top. Yes, Coh'Jak.
Looking around, do any of these people look like they were locked up for violent crimes?
You can tell who's been locked up for violent crimes the same way you can tell who's been locked up for non-violent crimes. You gotta look in the eyes and you say, "Are you bad?
Are you bad to the bone?"
There will be no way to kind of like tell unless you give like each of them.
What are you talking about?
Like,
Coh'Jak has the ghostwriter stare. It's easy.
Yeah,
he has ghost writers
Yes,
there.
yes, there you go.
He can rearrange letters to make them sound other things.
Exclusively on PBS.
Very effective against oozes.
Too bad there's no oozes in this campaign. Darn it. Change in the ask. Change in the ask. I want to look around. Who looks like they've given up?
No one at this point. This is all sort of glowing inspiration that they all say.
They see glowing inspiration. Because... And these are all like living looking people?
These are all beings for the most part, yeah.
All right. I get up and I open the cell door next to me. And then I open the next one.
Everyone else just starts going out, just getting everyone up. For folks who can't move, they start kind of lifting them up and getting them like all into like the same area. Folks aren't really doing that much running off on their own just because they know there's going to be others, other guards, if not other folks who want to keep them imprisoned. But they give you all sort of like your space as you guys go.
The only words I say is to one of them. One question. What are these inhibitors?
Anyone that can manipulate weave on their own, it just stops them from doing it unless, they've been allowed to do so by the state. Pretty much as it's been explained to you as other people show them, they are dampeners to stop anyone if they have any natural, magical, or magical or other type of abilities.
I pull off my pack, which has got... No, I didn't come here with a pack. What am I saying? I pull out as much food as I brought with me, which was probably a small amount, but I have pockets. This skirt has pockets. Of course it has pockets.
That's pockets.
This is a fantasy. I pull out as much food as I can carry and just say, take care of the others. Go. Best you can.
And with that, we're going to go right back to Lailai. A few moments after the roar, and you get the rest of the files back up. Do you put D's back?
Take a quick cursory glance over them, but then I would, yeah.
And you still have Husadas. Husada is still supposed to be in the facility.
Okay. Where?
Doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
They haven't been. They've been booked. They've been brought in. It doesn't detail whether or not they have been put inside of the containment or if they have been transferred out somewhere else. But by the paperwork, it says that they are somewhere in this building.
Hey, William. I
William?
think that was Asada.
Oh, for William?
Mm-hmm.
Who's William?
Someone, the guy that walked in knocked over the files.
Oh, they walked
and
out.
told William to pick. Oh, he walked
Oh,
out.
they were
I was looking
referring
for
to
him.
you. They walked by those
Oh.
files. They knocked him over
And then just
and just
told
said, "Yeah, get that, will you?"
Oh, I heard William. So I was
Oh,
like,
no.
there's someone else in here that's called William. I'm going to ask him
I
questions.
also heard William.
My mistake. I am so sorry.
That's really funny. Okay, cool, good. No, this is good. So
It's me,
also, I'm
William.
alone in this room. Let's meet William. We have a new. I
You've
was like,
unlocked
this
me.
is great. Okay, cool. William, hi, buddy. Bud, let's talk.
What
Let's
are you
make friends.
buying?
This is great. So, I'm in this room alone.
Yes.
What else is in here?
This is papers. You do see another device that has a screen that better projects images, as well as other appendages on it that kind of allow you to interact with the images on the screen that have been projected up. What appears to be a very heavy window shade. And you can lift that up just to kind of see off into the distance as the clear sky goes on with like that break off where you see the what I like to call like nice Midwest summer clouds where it's nice and fluffy, but then it gets really dark and it gets to that black part where you know the sky is going to be like a dark orange behind it just because of the darkness of the clouds.
Yeah.
And the sun as the day goes on and it starts to kind of dip. Weather's changing. Yes.
Does that look natural after my 3 earlier?
Give me a quick nature check.
Oh, that's better. 16.
The movement and the speed that the clouds are coming in would suggest like typical storm clouds. The density of the clouds itself does not tell you that it is simply it's simply just condensed moisture. There's something else packed into it that's moving with it. The pattern seems natural. The material that it is comprised of, however, is a bit iffy.
Okay. All right. Gotta get in and out. So, are there any maps in here?
There is one of the entire state of Charlotte that shows where the location that you all are and the borders of the state itself.
I will grab it. My map now. I don't have time to look at it right now because there was a roar.
As
I am also going to look for a map to the facility.
you don't see a map to the facility, however, but as you're taking down that one map from the wall, the door opens up. As someone looks down at a clipboard and kind of looks back up to see you taking the map off the wall, and they kind of stop and they say, "Can I help you there?"
No, I just felt like it was in the wrong place. Sorry. Hormones. They do weird things, you know.
Oh yeah, dames, they say. You're all silly.
Yeah, we can be. Sorry, it's not the time to be doing things like that.
I accept your apology.
Thanks.
Do you need help with that? It looks like you.
Actually, if you wouldn't mind, that would be amazing.
Yeah, your hands seem small and fragile as they go
yes,
over.
I am very weak in this state
I
right now.
start ripping the side of the where the map is and take it down and go, here you go. Why don't you just need a map so bad you can just bring it up on your stone?
I could, yeah. Sometimes you just want something that just it feels better, you know?
Oh yeah, I've been trying to do more of that myself, you know. I mean, a couple more years here, then I can take on service somewhere like out in the lush, you know.
Yeah.
Join a real party, gather some mana myself, come back, and might even become a wight myself.
Oh.
You know the plans, right?
Nice.
And it kind of points at Diasmin's stomach. That one's going to make a strong one for the service.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Here's your map.
Thank you very much. I'm just trying to stay safe at the moment. Did you hear that noise?
You know what? Since the storm's coming in, I wouldn't be so surprised if the city got up a little bit earlier.
Yeah, probably. Hisada, I'm just checking because he seemed kind of dangerous. I just wanted to make sure he's...
You saw what came in, right?
No?
Dame Massage Blanc come on in. She's here. I heard that she has him.
Where?
I don't know, but you know, whenever Rebecca Massage Blanc comes in, I just make sure I kind of stay out of the way.
Yeah, that's pretty wise. So she's just gonna take him from here.
You hear a chirping sound. So, oh, 1 second. They look down and they take out a small device out of their hand and they look up and it projects an image. I go, huh. Looks like a transport vehicle's been hijacked by Desmond, don't you run transport? And they take their stone and this device that shows a projected image of Diaz Macaravan, D, the driver, her face, with compromise in their language written underneath. Coh'Jak, you let people go. You gave them some supplies just to kind of, you know, keep them going, keep them up. What is your next move and intention?
Is there any sign that... Are there maps on the walls? Are there big arrows in the floor that say...
Where do you want to go?
I know that Lailai is heading towards the room where they keep records.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my big concern right now.
All right, you're going directly there. Barnaby, how about you?
Barnaby is looking down at his wrist, trying to figure out these shackles, and he's going to lean over to Wallace and say, you know, I think I'm beginning to like whatever this is. And he kind of stretch him. But do you mind helping me figure out how to get this off?
Wallace reacts that way upon the first sentence, like that amused, exasperated huff of air, as if to silently say, "What the hell am I going to do with you?" And then depends on what you need me to roll. Will roll to help. Barnaby release his shackles.
Oh, you're strong. You can rip that off. These are kind of like the ones you just use for play. Like, this is just easy.
Well, I would like to do them, and since they have the type to use for play, I would like to remove them so that they are not necessarily damaged for later usages.
Oh yeah, you got it. Easy. It's off.
All right. See, there's a switch if you just
Sorry,
right
Barnaby was
on the side.
1000% bluffing. I hope the folks at home caught on. Yeah. And then just he'll lean back in and go, so, where to, friend? Lead the way. This will be the first time he's ever followed willingly.
Fun
All right.
fact, the moment Coh'Jak stood up and put his wrists down, they just fell off. They weren't even locked.
See, when Wallace did his, he took
Hey,
some
this guy doesn't have his shackles on, and he has an axe.
see, when Wallace had all the attention on him, he actually like did like the Superman Man of Steel thing, where he just like he had the shackles on, but then he was just like, let's just cut to the chase, General, and just like, and but of course he didn't really let it show because it's like he tried to like make it seem like he still had them on until they had the door open.
So, Barnaby just put his on a little too tight because he's like, oh, new
Yeah.
thing. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Darn it. Let's go.
So it's a quick flashback outside, and D is putting him on. It's like, all right, don't put him on all the. Barnaby is like, ha! Acting.
Yep.
I'll
Some
just hold
a
on
regular
now.
Daniel Stray Lewis there. Ha! He's a cat actor.
A cat.
I drink your soda. I drink it up.
No, it's milk. He's a cat.
That's true. It's true. There you go.
All right. This is world building, folks. That's what this is.
I feel such shame.
Hire us.
If Barnaby's gonna follow Wallace's lead, then sure, Wallace is acting on a string of confidence. He has his top button on his shut button. He's feeling himself, so he's gonna make a judgment call and look for. He's gonna look for more cells that haven't been opened up. And
You got a full view of them all.
okay. Sorry, what's the name of the individual we're searching for again?
Asada.
Asada. I'm going to approach the ones that haven't been opened, the cells, and I'm going to look at all of them. We're looking for an individual named Asada.
As you look through the folks, and this is after you kind of open it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone who kind of gathered down at the bottom, especially around where Coh'Jak dropped off the supplies and started kind of like helping everyone else out. Someone kind of speaks up and they go like, "Oh yeah, Asada was in here a few nights ago. I think, yeah, some dame brought him. Yeah, a broad took him. Yeah, she came down a couple of days ago." And they're all like, "Oh yeah, he was over here." It's like, are you with Asada? Oh, he was right about it. Yeah, he's going to take us border. They're all going to take us across the border. Hey, I decided, hey, this guy over here is not wearing shoes. And they're just kind of
Who
like,
was the one that took Asada?
and as this is going on, and Wallace's voice calms the crowd and murmurs of like all these kind of conversations and non sequiturs of people trying to help it and trying to pitch in, an alarm goes off. And you all see that same blue light pulse in, the one that you saw back inside of the cavern. That the entire facility has probably been announced of what's been going on down here.
Is it the same shade? Is it the same shade of blue as?
Mm-hmm.
I quickly turn to Barnaby and just directly to his left ear, almost leaning against his head. Breathe.
And on that note, I'm going to go back to Lailai. Hey, Lailai. You are in a room that is probably 30 by 20.
Mm-hmm.
The individual that helped you take off the map is the only thing standing between you and the exit of this room. I'm like, well, could you please explain this? You are Transport Diazman, right?
I would like to play into the whole pregnancy bit and just burst into tears.
All right, give me a performance check or a deception check.
They're the same. They're simply the same. Let's go with deception.
Okay. And give me that number.
I want to cry. It's a 7.
You start crying, and what happens?
She heads over to him.
Oh,
I didn't want a dessert. I didn't want to. I'm just so tired, and I'm just sick all the time, and I'm just throwing up all the time. And I want to produce like a really
this is
good.
a lot of things. I don't know what to do.
I want to produce a really good.
These are lady problems. I don't know how.
Yeah. I just.
Yikes.
It's all so much. It's all so much, I needed a break, and I don't want to be.
Rushes over and grabs like the padded chair and says, "Here, grab a seat. Let me grab you some water. Grab a seat." He sets down the stone after doing so and says, "Just stay here. We're gonna figure something out. I'll be right back."
Okay.
And heads out the door.
Right. I would like to. My roll's been real bad. I'll just cast invisibility. Let's just do that. And
Yes.
fade from view.
And when Lailai becomes invisible, is it just sort of like a blink out of existence, or?
It is a slow fade.
Dramatic
Slow fade, in which everything inside Lailai fades first, and there's an outline, and then the outline disappears as well.
Cool. And the door opens back up. I brought some.
I am moving, by the way. I'm not staying.
Yeah,
It's not going to be like.
Are you just going out around?
I'm not touching you.
I'd like to take the stone with me, but yes.
Do items that you pick up also become invisible?
I would have picked it up beforehand if I thought that wouldn't be a thing. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. Cool. So it's like floating phone. I wasn't sure if that was like part of the plan. Like, hey, that's mine. Come back here.
What is this? Oh no, I'm not taking this mad man with me.
You have the stone. And as they kind of come in, they gave you enough room to kind of just move and maneuver right around them. And you are now in the hall. You see right at the end, there is another room that leads to the flight of stairs that would take you back to where you dropped off the party and then to the exit. And in this room, you just see a few other folks as they start heading down towards that same way where you dropped off the rest of the party. An alarm starts to go off. Inside all these halls, granted, there is some light, not a lot, then becomes just filled with this slow pulsing blue light. The only light in the vicinity is now just this blue light.
Slow pulsing blue light doesn't sound like a good idea. I'm going to head back toward the others because this is ultimately Hasada's not mine.
And as you start heading that same way, you're also following the same crowd as they start heading to the site of whatever this commotion is coming from. And as you go amongst them, you start to see other folks start walking out of doors. You'd hear a ding, and a door would appear and open up, and more figures would walk out. 3 of these figures have blue eyes. that are glowing with that supernatural, eerie sort of glow. As a dozen or so folks are moving past through these three, one of them stops and turns and looks directly at you.
Mm-hmm. I thought that might be exactly what you were about to say. Going back, I was going to try to stay out of view of anything that blue.
Cool.
Yeah.
How would you like to do that?
If I saw that was happening, I would go immediately in the other direction. I wouldn't go anywhere near that.
Can you give me a stealth check?
Mm-hmm.
And you can roll it at advantage, of course.
Well, since one of them was a natural 1 and the other is a 19, let's go with that.
All right.
Let's go with the 19.
As this is going, you start heading over towards the direction. You do see the figures with the glowing eyes, and as that one kind of turns, you just kind of duck out of the way as they glance right over you. Before also heading down to the source of the commotion.
That's all I'm doing for now is head back towards the source of that commotion.
Just trailing behind the group. Just
trailing
behind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna. How Instagram famous am I?
After a while of the lights, you then hear over some sort of intercom. Be on the lookout for Transporter Diasmin Caravan, who is on the premises, who appears to be compromised. Approach cautiously. Consider to be dangerous.
Okay. In that case, just for a moment, I'd like to duck out of view and then become the madman friend, whoever he was. I'm going to become him instead.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Because why would I risk that? That sounds not fun.
There you go. And you proceed to follow the group down.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I'm going to go back over to the other three. Wallace and Barnaby start to gather the information regarding Hizada, and they say that's that another person identified clearly as someone who must be of some renown, Rebecca Massage Blanc, who must have taken Hizada. Where? No one down there knows. But after a while, you hear over the intercom, Diasmin Caravan, compromised. Approach a caution, presumed to be dangerous.
Damn. I give Barnaby a look. You all right?
I'll manage. I just think we should get our feet to pavement a little bit faster. Don't think we can stay here much longer, given everything.
Right. I turn to everybody. I turn to everybody and I let go. Well, I open the cages. I'd advise everyone to find somewhere to hurry out of this building and find shelter and safety. Things might get bad real quick. I don't think y'all want to be here.
Is it safe to assume that Coh'Jak or someone else removed any inhibitors?
Yeah. Along the way.
To try to, rather.
The first time I met someone, they showed me what the inhibitor was. I tried to remove it, yeah.
Give me an Arcana check.
Of course. 16?
Yeah. Your eyes tell you everything you know about the abjuration type of magic that's used to stop these folks from performing their inherent cantrips and what have you. And you're able to easily figure it out. And that same tool, that same screwdriver I use crystal screwdriver mode, and you get everybody's off. And with that being done, as Wallace makes the announcement, a couple of the folks work together, and they utilize their manipulation of the weave to start carving out essentially a hole from one of the sails to get out.
Coh'Jak helped as many as they could on the way out, but they did go out on a mission, and then they taught the last one how to manipulate the smooth surface so the thing would just simply fall off. On the moment the lights turn blue, things change, because I think I left just before the alarm. I pull out a small a small trinket from my pocket. It's nothing, just a stone ball that I probably got a long time ago. I cast a yellow light cantrip upon it, toss it behind me to roll, and instead of turning towards records, I turn towards security. Because I know that some folks have a thing about the blue light, and this way, at least that way, they'll have a different light.
Yeah. All right. Cool. You create a green room.
I turn into a disco ball. Cause get it? He's gay. No.
For Wallace and Barnaby, as you start to head out and up with Coh'Jak, you hear the sounds of multiple footsteps approach. In this same hallway, you hear what you can only assume were the original guards that were down there, giving different pleas and excuses of sort of like, wait for reinforcements, don't go down there. They're different. This is not the same. Something's wrong.
We hear that?
You can hear that loudly enough. The hallways themselves aren't that big. So the sound is carrying enough for y'all to kind of like hear the conversations a few flights up and from below.
Looks like we've really put a fright into them. Or at least you did.
We should... Do you have any... You know them better than any of us.
Why would I know them?
You talk to them all you talk to them all the time. I see you talk to them all the time. You even call them different nicknames. Lailai. Where's Lailai?
Oh! Those aren't nicknames. Lailai's towards the records room. Or at least that's the last place I saw them heading. Should be, I point in a direction. Is it the record room and the security room towards the same area?
More or less, yeah. It's away from where you all are, which is kind of like at the end. And then going back the other way, it would be in the same direction. Security first, then the records.
We need to get this alarm off.
Agreed.
What was the name that we were avoiding that they said? Who's the threat in this facility? I thought it was us, but they said something about a compromise.
That would be our friend D.
Oh, that's D's full name. I didn't put that together. Well, that means somebody's doing something right. Let's go find Lailai. And then Barnaby would just take the lead this time after forgetting he said he was sacrificing it.
Awesome. Let's pop back up to where Lailai is. And Lailai, as the crowd starts heading down and to investigate what's at the bottom and the cause of the alarms going off, you suddenly just see them stop. You are the person you spoke to before in the room. Are you still invisible, or are you back?
I'm still invisible because, as far as I know, I mean, it's not an attack. I didn't attack or cast a spell. That's an innate trait.
Cool. There are a wall of bodies as you see a few standing up, kind of like in protest of folks kind of going down, kind of like we need to wait for reinforcements, we need to stop. As you see the three figures with blue eyes just sort of make their way as other folks, other beings, just kind of part to let them through. These three do not look like any of the ones you've encountered so far in the facility. But they do immediately say, what seems to be the problem?
It's like there's someone brought in some monsters or something, but they're just really strong. It's not right. Yes, sir, it's not right. I saw them with my own eye.
And like an Arakoros kind of says, and another one is kind of like, yeah, they took Johnny's arm off. They almost took his arm off. And Johnny's just like, I didn't want to die today. As you see Lailai, like these three wights kind of show a look of confusion and also just complete agitation from this, as they just kind of push all the beings off to the side, and they march their way through into the security section of the stairs, leading into a huge hallway. And at the end of the hallway, you see three of your friends turn the corner.
Great.
The three of you turn the corner to see three wights with 24 or so guards behind them in a very enclosed corridor.
Okay. So this place, let's say a room next door, is a place where some people have been killed, I'm guessing. In the past, because it's those spirits, not the spirits of my home plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's those spirits that join me as I take my 6 seconds to cast my spirit as shield. So now I have 50 more hit points. Yay, me!
Cool.
Go ahead.
And I lightly touch Barnaby to try and push him aside. As I stroll forward, if you think my friend taking your arm was bad, you really don't want to be around me. And as I open my mouth, fangs pop out.
That was such a dark night, then you're gonna love me moment, and I was looking for it.
I almost had a moment where I was going to be like, going all Bill in True Blood and being like, I am vampire. But I decided it's too easy. It's too easy.
Or my favorite.
Make Barnaby self-conscious about his own fangs.
I was thinking my favorite Aaron Eckhart movie, I Am Frankenstein. So, yeah.
Yes. The other
Robot.
movie that he was in.
Yeah, you know. Thank you for smoking. The Dark Knight. I Am Frankenstein.
Exactly.
I guess y'all want to fight. That's what I'm getting.
I would also like to do an action before everything happens.
Yeah.
And it'll be in the form of a bonus action, in which case it is Barnaby. Sorry, I keep doing this. It is in the form of Wallace taking off, like just quickly snatching off his red tinted sunglasses to expose his fiery dragon eyes as I'm preparing myself for dragon's breath.
And I think at this moment, you engage in this, and in Wallace's mind's eye, Dragon Daddy appears. Wallace would appear on a single floating pillar of stone that is hard enough to not be burnt to cinders by the immense heat that surrounds Wallace. A large red dragon lowers their head with a huge golden eye, a deep black slit down the middle. Looks like pools of obsidian as it kind of blinks and stares into Wallace's soul. And it says, who do you want to burn first, Wallace?
Let's kill the wights.
I was waiting for that. As this heat, this energy, this infernal grows inside of your chest, everyone else around Wallace can start to feel the temperature immediately rise as you see from the bit of neck and chest that is showing from the buttons that have been loosened start to kind of glow the way that a metal left inside of a furnace for too long starts to glow. Barnaby, are you doing any prep work besides being Fang conscious?
Barnaby is mostly kind of taking in this new side to Wallace that he forgets we are about to fight some people and is a little distracted. It's like when you see someone who is incredibly hot and you're afraid of them, but you're also like, dang, they're incredibly hot. He's having one of those moments.
Lailai, you of course feel this immense heat start to radiate from your furnace friend Wallace. Is there anything you would like to do in preparation from what you can only assume another boom boom or burn burn?
I would not like to be in the radius of that boom boom or burn burn, and since they don't know that I'm there, I'ma just get out of the way. I'm behind the wights though, right?
Mm-hmm. It will be
I
the
will-
3 wights, the rest of the beans, and then you would probably be in the back. I would allow you to have enough cover to not be affected by any sort of AoE attack, but still there and present to kind of get a view, a vantage point, and also to be able to engage.
I would like to make my way around in this tiny corridor, make my way around as much as possible so that I could theoretically be within attack range if I needed to be.
Cool.
So like out of AoE, but in attack, like within 30 feet of like, I'ma get you.
Cool. So whoever wants to write this down, here are the number logistics. Ready? The hallway that you're all looking down is 50 feet. It is 15 feet across. So you got 3 squares to kind of play with in the middle. 30 feet down the corridor towards the wights, there is a room to the left side. The right side would appear just to be kind of reinforcement wall to the outside. There would be like a window right across from the door to where the room would be. 30 feet in on the left side. Room on the left side, window on the right side. And the window is the same heavy window that Lailai saw. I need you all to roll your initiatives for me one more time. Wallace, Barnaby, and Coh'Jak on one side. We have Lailai, some guards, and 3 wights on the other. Let's see what happens in the middle. So read me those initiatives, my friends.
16.
16 for Coh'Jak.
Yep.
10.
10 for Wallace.
A nice and speedy 4 for Barnaby.
All right. And for Lailai?
Whoa, let's have that 4 matching.
Matching 4s.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
You know, sometimes when you ask for initiatives and you're just forced to go fish, today's not one of those days. That was a card game joke.
Hey, you know what?
It's been a minute. I've been playing tank a lot.
We'll have director and player commentary for everybody, so we can go through everyone's bits, and we can have it so whenever you make a bit, we can mute out the rest of the sound, and we'll have the person come in and just explain their bit and their joke. But that's only
Because that's how that works. That's how joke works. That's how jokes work. You have to explain.
You gotta
the
explain
punchline.
them. The funnier the joke, the more you gotta explain.
I mean, judging by some of the YouTube comments on the shows I've been, yeah, you do need to explain them.
The irony of the fact that we just had to explain that.
Yes, exactly.
It's free content.
This is
Check
our
out more on the
life.
Patreon. All right, so The guards are standing behind the rest of these three wights. The first one kind of undoes their jacket and kind of tosses in the back, and one of the guards, the beings in the back, grabs their jacket, and they lunge towards the three at the end of the hall. Wallace, Barnaby, and Coh'Jak, which one of you three would be standing out in front?
I did say I pushed Barnaby aside to showcase Fang.
Awesome. You see a light come towards you, and you see from these three particular, they don't have any additional features like the grooves to kind of show the horns of a tiefling, or any sort of scales along the neck or aside the head to show of like any sort of dragonborn lineage or ancestry. As told by you, Enrico actually explained to you all, and especially you, Coh'Jak, kind of like there's really no elves up here at all. But they have distinctly very plain humanoid features besides the death look. This one has sort of like a bowl cut with like a mullet in the back.
That's a look.
With the same type of gloves as everyone else, except like theirs are fingerless. As they come over to reach out to touch you, Coh'Jak, I need you to make a Constitution save, my friend.
Even as a dead dude. How sad. That's a 15.
15. They reach out to try to grab you. And you see sort of like with your eyes, a certain kind of glow sort of turn on their fingertips. And another sort of bit of information that kind of got dropped from you, for you, from Enrico in the car was the explanation of like, there's not a lot of natural magic around here, if any, besides that kind of show up in the beams. Enrico went on to kind of explain to y'all that the only way they can access magic directly is if they source it from people through various ways, or if they harvest it from somewhere else, kind of like what they did to the plane that you all came from, and probably what they're doing to other planes. They can get it from other locations that still have natural mana. But wights themselves do not possess magic. Instead, wights use privileges. At the end of this one's fingers, as they try to reach out and touch you, they miss you, and they grab onto, I think, like just a bit of your lapel or your shirt, as it slowly kind of falls off and turns to leaves from that patch.
Would that count, though, as, let's say, a melee spell attack?
It does not count as a hit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It doesn't count as a hit. Good to know.
They reach out, and as they kind of get you right by the shirt, missing your flesh, they then take the rest of the movement to kind of move it back just a bit. Besides wearing that kind of uniform with some additional decorative flair added to it, they appear to have no other weapons at their side.
But they didn't leave my area of effect, right? They didn't leave the 5 meters around me.
They did leave the 5 feet.
They did?
Yeah.
Do I get an opportunity attack?
You do not.
So strange.
I know.
How weird.
Do you have any feats that
Privilege.
allow you to attack anyone that disengages?
I think that's just standard. Hold on. Action should be under reactions. Yeah, opportunity attacks. You can make an opportunity attack on a hostile creature that you can see moves out of your reach. To make that opportunity attack, you can use your reaction.
Disengaged.
They
And that's
disengage.
and their turn, but it is immediately your turn, Coh'Jak. It's right now like you two right here as everyone's off to the side. So what would you like to do in retaliation?
Okay. I grin. It's a feral grin. There are 6 different fangs in Coh'Jak's mouth. There's 4 appearing from the top and 2 smaller ones appearing from the canines below. And as I shrug, like let the rest of the shirt turn into leaves and I shrug out of it, I lash out with my hand like a tiger trying to slash across someone's face with my tiger's paw.
You touch their face? Or with your weapon?
The weapon touches the face.
Gotcha. Cool.
It's really cool. So there's, I think, just for those of you who missed it last week, there's 2 rings and a bar that connects those 2 rings together. From those 2 rings spout 4 different blades contained by the fingers. So you can just... It's great. And it's also really nasty. On that note, let's roll to hit, shall we?
Is he,
A tiger? Yes.
The first hit is at... Yeah, I'm a tiger. Roar. The first hit is for 10.
10 does not hit. They are able to dodge out of the way. You actually do them a favor in return and mess up their shirt with like a nice little claw little scratch mark.
Love it. I curl my knuckles underneath the blades and then slash back again, leaning forward as I do so. And that one is going to be a 25.
25. You attack twice, and 25 definitely hits. Roll for damage, my friend.
Oh, I would love to. I'd love to. It's only 1d6 plus 3. But I did roll a 6 on that 1d6, so that's 9 damage.
9
already.
points of damage. You miss with the first one, and as they kind of get away, you see that they are itching for you to come a little bit closer just so they can try their hand at it again on you. And being a little bit too eager on it, they move a moment too quickly, and you catch them right in the gut. Unlike typical beams, the wights' physiology doesn't lend them to kind of like, bleed out because they don't have blood or anything like that. But severe physical trauma like that does have an effect. And they would be considered bloodied now after that hit. What would you like to do for the rest of your turn, my friend?
I look this thing right in the eye, and I say, "You've already lost, you just don't know it yet."
That's just the reaction.
Nani?
This one's learning that the others were right. Yeah, this group is like maybe a bit too powerful for this place. Just a little bit.
After seeing this, the next one, white shows up. This one does have something in their hand as they grab what looks like to be just a simple baton as they run in to assist the first wight that attacked you, Coh'Jak. This one comes in with the baton and swings at you with a 14 to hit.
A 14. That does hit.
And with the backhand, 13 to hit.
The 13 is my armor class.
All right. Makes it, breaks it. Yeah. So both hits. For those two, that is going to be 2d6 for damage, and that is going to be a total of 7 points of damage.
All right.
And I need you to make a strength save twice.
I will, but I need you to hit what just hit me with 30 points of frost damage.
Okay, just what just happened?
The Spirit of Shield, my friend. If I'm hit with a melee attack, and this is melee, as long as I have those hit points, and I still have 8 left, the creature takes 5 cold damage per spell slot I used to cast it. I used a 3rd level spell slot.
Better armor of Agathis, baby.
So they just took 15 points of cold damage.
Twice 30.
30 points of cold damage.
Oh yeah, it's bad. Let me do my strength save real quick. The first one's a natural 20.
Okay.
That's a 21 total. And the second one's a 17.
You are able to grip yourself as this person tries to knock you back, but I think as they make that connection to you, and they take that initial first sort of cold blast of just a spectral friends being like, nah. um what happens to them? What becomes of them? What is the end of the fact? How do you destroy this wight?
So this thing does hit me because I do take damage, but it only hits one of the spirits, which
Okay.
in its last final throw reaches a hand up and grabs its face. Frost appears from between the fingers of this spectral creature, and this thing slowly falls apart like so much broken glass.
And they shatter. And as
Talk about white fragility.
Hey-oh, wait a minute.
I can do this shit too, motherfucker.
We're done. We're done. I can't do this anymore.
There's no topping that. There is no way to beat that. It's done. That's a natural 20. That's what are we gonna do?
They have been removed from initiative. Wallace, it's your turn.
All
Can't do
right.
any better.
I see what that comment was. Your turn. Moving on.
So only one of the three are dead, correct?
That is
Yeah.
correct.
All right. Is it possible for me to position myself in a way where I can direct what I've been building up in my chest, so that the remaining two wives are impacted? Or do I really need to move at all?
You're good. I mean, it's just a long corridor. They're going to be thrown right into whatever you do.
Perfect. I'm just going to take a deep breath, my eyes glowing with intense fervor.
The last wight in the back sees this.
Mhm.
The first one that attacked Coh'Jak had no weapons in their hands. The second one had a club that he used to swing twice. The one in the back seems to have a weapon behind them that they have one hand behind their back holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
By the long kilt in the back, it looks like a staff. And as they kind of bring it out, you see that it is like twice as long as Coh'Jak's. But it looks more like a fly fishing rod.
Right.
And seeing you kind of huff, they kind of take it out from the side and they begin swinging it around their hands. I'm going to need Wallace to quickly make a wisdom save. You are within their range, and they have two sets of abilities on them. First one's Sentinel, that extends their range for opportunity attack, and Warcaster, that in reaction to seeing someone cast a spell or enter their range of opportunity attack, they can retaliate with a spell of their own that targets one person. What's your wisdom save, my friend?
12. If it doesn't beat it, I will use my inspiration to roll again.
It does not beat it.
There you go. We'll try that again. 16.
16 succeeds. As the length of the fishing line reaches out and tries to ensnare you, Wallace, your attack succeeds. What do you do?
So, because I'm positioned in a way where I can hit both of them, I just, for flavor, let's just say that in the midst of my preparation, I rear back my head, just missing the swing of the staff. If I'm correctly painting the picture that you're putting in my head.
Staff with a fishing line. You're doing great.
Just missing it, and then I just like a fire breather, just expend just like the strongest flame that I can possibly fathom from my mouth, and they have to make a dexterity check, a saving throw.
Ooh, all right. Let me do 3. I'm going to do one for the one with the fishing line, the second one for the one that tried to touch Coh'Jak, and one group one for all of the rest of the guards behind them. First one, without modifiers added. Ooh, that's going to be 16.
That saves.
Second one for the second wight. Ooh. That's going to be a 7.
That fails.
And for the group in the back, since they're all kind of grouped up there, they get to roll at disadvantage because it's kind of hard to dodge. Well, as a group, they still got a 13.
That succeeds.
All right.
So they only take half damage.
Cool. And what's the total?
That would be 13 fire damage.
Whew. The one that missed was the one with the line, and their staff and line incinerated as they sort of reach yours. String doesn't beat fire. That's just how Pokemon works.
Agreed.
Don't start with the string type. The one that succeeded was the first one that tried to get Coh'Jak. They take 6 points of damage in addition to how they are already hit. They are not looking too good. The one in the back that tried to attack you at first takes the full 12 points of damage. They also look pretty bad. Everyone else behind them falls back. Lailai, you feel an immense heat come from the other side of the hallway that you're on as the rest of the guards start to peel back and start falling over each other as they start trying to retreat back. Any of the ones that were kind of up front are completely charred along the sides, as about 18 are able to make it past you, Lailai, that you're able to see. The rest of you see the end of the hallway start to clear out as the non-white guards just get the heck out of there.
And I'm also going to spend 2 sorcery points in order to quickenly cast Firebolt as a bonus action.
Ooh.
At the one with the staff.
All right. Roll for damage, or roll to attack.
That's a 23.
Ooh. Okay. Roll for damage, my friend.
And that's 13 points of fire damage.
And they also go up. One shatters into ice, the other one burns into ash, as the last one that first attacked Coh'Jak remains to be the sole survivor of the 3 wights.
So once I saw that he was still standing from the eruption from my mouth, I just give a and then just thrust my hand, and the fire just immensely just encapsulated him. I was like, should have went down the first time, son.
The damage left after the fire breath kind of left half of their torso intact, and the rest was just sort of like a no-look little Vegeta key blast. Wonderful, my friend. As we go to the rest of the guards, as they are trying to retreat, making their way past Lailai, as one of them gets back up and tries to make their way, this guard that is also a being is grabbed on the back of the neck by the last remaining wight, who touches him with the fingerless gloves. And you see this being start to scream as the sound immediately goes to as it is abruptly cut off, hollowed, then silenced, as the being themselves starts to change. The skin on their neck starts to become hardened and very fibery. Fibrous. I was gonna say fibrosis, but like that's not a thing.
It's not cystic,
fibrous,
so I mean,
yeah. As they start to look up, Lailai, from where you're standing, you can see the look on their eyes as slowly the change creeps up their face, and as they look up, you can immediately tell that they are still there, but changing as they are transformed into a tree.
A tree?
A tree. From where they're standing, roots begin to grow down, breaking into the floor beneath them. As their arms grow into branches, their fingers extend as leaves start to grow, and they turn into a tree. They grab another one and do the same thing as quickly as they start to run. These are the only two. The rest of the guards start to clear out and make way. This one, through the commotion of the guards leaving, then grabs two large, shiny, bulbous orbs that starts to grow from these two and just shoves them into their mouth.
I am close enough. Or am I within range to do a little stabby stab with a primal savagery?
You are the furthest away from this one, being at the other end.
Okay.
But you can run up and clear that distance.
I would like to do that.
Go for it.
I would like to use inspiration. Because I have it.
Go for it, my
I'm
friend.
sick of these rolls. Seeing the die hit. That's better. That's a 23.
23 hits. As you close the distance and see them, you are able to kind of catch them glance over and see you approach.
Oh, they don't. I'm still invisible.
Oh, you're still invisible. Oh, they
still
don't see this.
invisible.
Well, you
They
get
do
to
not-
see
well,
this for
they
free.
might. But we get to see this for free.
As you see the lacerations created by Coh'Jak start to close up as you close in on them.
Mm-hmm. As they close in, they become visible in the reverse version of what happened. So the outline forms first around their nails, and then they start to fill in. They look like Madman guy, and they're aiming for the gut because that's what they know. And they hit for 11 damage, just straight to the gut.
They do not see this coming. From the three of you on the opposite end, you can see after they've kind of like soiled their face with the juices from these fruits that they just kind of grabbed from these two other guards. A grin starts to grow on their face before you see a hand just emerge from the other side of them. Mm-hmm. And you see another guard behind them with a very feline-like claw with a corrosive outline of it. Anything else you'd like to do for your turn, Lailai?
Shake it off, I guess. That's about it.
Hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on,
All right.
some right here.
Thanks.
Barnaby, what would you like to do, my friend?
So it's just the last white and some trees.
Mm-hmm.
Curious. So Barnaby is still unarmed because Axe is still in truck. So he's just going to close the distance by running forward and getting out his own claws and then just giving him a good old-fashioned slash.
All right, roll to attack, my friend.
Oh boy. I'm using my inspiration. I'm rolling again. I rolled a 1. We rolling again.
Please.
19.
19 hits.
4 damage.
A nice slap. He's been hit in the gut so many times. Hit across the face. Change things up a bit. So it stands at the end of this first round. Barnaby and Lailai both clawed into this last white as Coh'Jak stands to the side with Wallace, Team Todoroki over there.
The one who burned one to death and the other one who made one split apart like a saltine on the bottom of a lunch bag. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
The gardener. It is their turn as they start once again doing something oddly similar, uttering a phrase. If anyone here understands Celestial, just Lailai, you hear them utter the phrase that can only be translated as curious fruit. As below you all, there is a rupture from the two nearby trees as they start to grow. I need all four of you to start making dexterity saves as the ground around you starts to erupt and they
To
grow out the
start
sides.
making dexterity saves, implying that we're going to be making more?
It's growing, baby. It's growing fast.
I don't know about
Each
making,
round 6 seconds. These are some fast growing trees.
I don't know if I'm going to need to make more because I just rolled another natural 20 as my dex save.
Nice.
Well, this first one is good. And I'm good. Let's see what the other people make out so I can see.
That was an 11.
11? Okay.
16.
16. And Barnaby?
15.
15.
15.
So the side of the building that you're all in, on the left side, there's a door to a room. On the right side, there is a window. From that same right side, where that window is growing, is also where the trees are growing. And they're pushing out from that side, from the top of that facility. Anyone who rolled 14 or less is carried with the trees and pushed out from the side of the building.
Wow, guys, it's nice.
But you love trees.
That's
I do.
Lailai. Is there anyone else?
I think
I
it's
like
just
such a tree
Lailai.
hugger. They're like, yay! Trees!
I found nature!
I just imagine they're just going, don't worry, I got this.
I got this. I understand trees.
The space that you are all occupying right now now expands as picture if a 40 by 40 circle is now added to the side of this very narrow hallway that opens up with a about a 40 story drop off to the side. So this is what we're going to do. Lailai's been pushed out. The rest of you are cool. Coh'Jak, you got a 20. Give me a dexterity save.
Oh, great.
I almost said
Okay,
reflex saved and aged myself.
That's a 19, so 21.
Do you want to grab Lailai's hand before they fall?
Yes, I do.
Lailai, a hand reaches out and it grabs you right before you are launched off this sort of cascading wooden waterfall as Coh'Jak reaches out to grab you. You see the last light sort of taking this ride on these enormous branches down the side to the side of the street. Where at this point, the blue alarm from inside the building is now just sort of going off, and that blue light is now showing out. Other vehicles start to gather around the facility as you see other guards evacuating the entire space. From all the noise and commotion, you can pick up sounds from voices on devices on the guards that were fallen either from the heat from Wallace's flames or picked off from the two that were turned into trees. And you hear other guards talking about the prisoners that have started to make their way out from the side and escape through the building, and more commotion from the officer that they were looking for before, who was compromised, to more calls of help, of SOS. Something is inside this facility. Something has taken us out. There are monsters here. As all this is happening, you see off in the distance that those clouds are coming in pretty quick. As the last thing you hear is a weather update. The weather is changing. The announcer coming from the other end says that the sun's going to be dampened. The expected 2-day dampen looks like it's going to last for an entire month. 30 days, no sun, starting this morning, this day. Their planned vampire weekend has just turned into a white boy summer. And on that note, thank you all for joining us.
I was going to make a 30 Days of Night joke, but then you said that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I built an entire campaign off of that joke. Thank you for joining us. We are some dice friends playing the dragon game. This is Alabaster Kingdom, and we're gonna wrap up this entire session next week when we play again. My name is Nathaniel Kiss, aka What Is Kiss. I have been your dungeon comrade, and right there we got some awesome folks. I would like for them to introduce themselves to you, so you know who they are and where you can find them. Hey, Northern Ali, start us off.
Let me take my earring off because that deserved it. Hey, my name is Northern Ali, aka Werewolf Feels. You can find me by that name on all the internets and interwebs, including my own Twitch channel. I play games all over the internet as well, including more Dungeons and Dragons, as you may know from my Twitter channel. And in addition to that, a mage game over on Roll For It. Basically, I play a lot of games and no one can stop me. Only I am capable of stopping myself.
We tried. Many have failed.
Yeah. I push. No one invited me to this game. No one casted me this game. I just showed up.
No one even made this overlay. That's the weirdest part. That's Orion's supposed to be there. This is weird. Orion D. Black, are you still there? I'm sorry. We're gonna have to try to reach them later.
Look, I'm just happy to be here. You can also find some of my writing in some works like Junction, Blood and Banquet Hall, Deimos Academy coming out in January, Motherlands, because I also write tabletop games. And this is why I'm just too powerful. Give in.
Someone stop Northern Ali is pretty much what we're trying to say.
This is just a cry for help.
Yeah. Courtney, tell us about you, my friend.
Yeah, hi. Unlike Northern Ali, I play one game mostly, and that's Nancy Drew, because there's like 30-something versions. There's like 30-something Nancy Drew games. I play those on Twitch over at Sparkly Kiss, and you can find me on Twitter, mostly, still at Sparkly Kiss. I am Barnaby, the sad himbo. Now he's the sad himbo, but whatever. Just out here doing my best.
Hi, my name is Laron Reedus, aka Reedus101 on Twitter and YouTube. I am a geek and pop culture commenter, analyst. There it is. I know how to do words, and critiquer.
Critic.
You can critic. There you go. Critic. I just said I knew how to use words. On again, off again, indie author as well. And you can find me on youtube.com and twitter.com/Reedus101. That's READUS, the number 1, the number 0, the number 1, underscore on Twitter. He, him, and I play Wallace, he, him, the Minotaur. We're not going to say fire. We're not going to say firefighter again because I've already peaked with that one joke earlier today, and I want to end on a high note.
Can someone please hose this group down? That's all of us. We all deserve it.
Going through it. Yeah.
Oh, I'll just wrap that up then. I am Chantel B. You can find me on Twitter at Chantel B. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a psychologist. I'm a runner. I'm a track star. I'm not those two
A mover,
things.
a
Please don't ask me to
shaker.
move.
Candlestick
I am a
maker.
performer, though. You can
I am John Jacob Jingham Schmidt.
Yes.
me.
Their name is my name too.
I'm also Will, because someone needs to be Will.
There needed to be a way.
There needs to be a Will. You can also find some of my writing over at wordswithcolor.com, and you can find a load of stuff on my link tree, which is in the description of my Twitter. Yes.
Thank you all. Thank you for folks at home joining us, and all the Dice Friends Loading Ready Run folks for joining us, and see the conclusion of the story of this adventure as we all kill some more white folks. All right, good night.
Good night.